Hi friends, today we're going to learn about President's Day, a special holiday to honor the leaders of our country. Are you ready to learn about President's Day? Let's go! President's Day started as a day to honor George Washington, the first President of the United States. It was originally celebrated on Washington's birthday on February the 22nd. Over time, the holiday also began to honor Abraham Lincoln, who was born on February the 12th. In 1971, the Uniform Monday Holiday Act moved the celebration to the third Monday in February to give people a long weekend. President's Day is now a time to honor all U.S. presidents, past and present. You might be wondering why we do celebrate President's Day. President's Day is a day to reflect on the importance of leadership and democracy. President's Day reminds us of the contributions that presidents have made to the country. The holiday celebrates the values of freedom, justice, and equality. President's Day is celebrated to unite our country and help the citizens to remember the shared history of the United States. It is also a day to encourage people to learn about the lives and achievements of the presidents. Let's look at the life of George Washington. The story about Washington and the cherry tree is a famous legend. Even though it's not true, he did grow up to be an honest and truthful person. George Washington was the commander of the Continental Army during the American Revolution when he was 43 years old. He became the first president of the United States in 1789 at the age of 57 years old. Did you know that his face is on the U.S. $1 bill and the quarter? After his presidency, George Washington retired and lived in a beautiful estate called Mount Vernon in Virginia, where he focused on improving the property and running a plantation that grew crops like tobacco and grains. He also owned a grist mill and a distillery. After his death, many memorials were built to honor him. One of the most famous monuments is the Washington Memorial, located in Washington, D.C. Let's look at the life of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln grew up in a log cabin and loved to read. Abraham Lincoln learned to read and loved books. He would sometimes walk miles to borrow books from neighbors, friends, and clergymen. Abraham Lincoln became a lawyer in Illinois by studying with an established attorney, passing an oral exam, and receiving a license to practice law. Years later, he ran for president and won. He is famous for his Gettysburg Address, a speech about freedom and equality. Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, which helped end slavery in the United States. Abraham Lincoln wore a top hat for a variety of reasons, including to make himself stand out and be more recognizable, for protection, and to store important documents like his letters and notes. Did you know that his face is on the U.S. $5 bill and the penny? You can visit the Lincoln Memorial, a monument built in his honor, which is located in Washington, D.C. Inside the memorial is a 19-foot statue of Abraham Lincoln seated, which is pictured. The plaque above his head says, "In this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is enshrined forever." This is also a picture of what the Lincoln Memorial looks like on the outside at night. Another famous monument that honors 4 past presidents is Mount Rushmore Memorial, which is located in the Black Hills region of South Dakota. It was completed in 1941 and is roughly a 60-foot high granite face on Mount Rushmore, carved to represent the birth, growth, perseverance, and development of the nations, depicted with Presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Some American traditions and customs to honor President's Day include parades, which are held to celebrate President's Day. Schools often teach students about President's Day with fun activities. Many people visit museums or historical sites on this day. President's Day is also known for big sales at stores, especially for cars, furniture, and clothes. Some people honor the holiday by volunteering or doing community service. Do you know the names of the presidents of the United States? Let's learn them together. The first president was George Washington. The second was John Adams. Third was Thomas Jefferson. The fourth was James Madison. The fifth was James Monroe. The sixth was John Quincy Adams. The seventh was Andrew Jackson. The eighth was Martin Van Buren. Ninth was William H. Harrison. 10th was John Tyler. 11th was James Polk. And 12th was Zachary Taylor. The 13th was Millard Fillmore. The 14th was Franklin Pierce. The 15th was James Buchanan. The 16th was Abraham Lincoln. 17th was Andrew Johnson. 18th was Ulysses S. Grant. 19th was Rutherford B. Hayes. 20th was James Garfield. 21st was Chester A. Arthur. 22nd was Grover Cleveland. 23rd was Benjamin Harrison, and the 24th was Grover Cleveland. 25th was William McKinley. 26th was Theodore Roosevelt. 27th was William H. Taft. 28th was Woodrow Wilson. 29th was Warren G. Harding. 30th was Calvin Coolidge. 31st was Herbert C. Hoover. 32nd was Franklin D. Roosevelt. 33rd was Harry S. Truman. 34th was Dwight D. Eisenhower. 35th was John F. Kennedy. 36th was Lyndon B. Johnson. 37th was Richard M. Nixon. 38th was Gerald R. Ford. 39th is James E. Carter. 40th was Ronald W. Reagan. 41st was George H. W. Bush. 42nd was William J. Clinton. 43rd was George W. Bush. 44th was Barack H. Obama. 45th was Donald J. Trump. 46th was Joseph R. Biden. And 47th is Donald J. Trump. Here are a few interesting facts about past presidents. Theodore Roosevelt was the youngest president, taking office at age 42. John F. Kennedy was the youngest elected president at age 43. Franklin D. Roosevelt served the longest with 4 terms as president. Calvin Coolidge had a pet raccoon named Rebecca. The first president to use a telephone was Rutherford B. Hayes. Here are some fun President Day ideas you can do to celebrate the day. Many children like to make crafts like paper hats or George Washington wigs to celebrate. Students like to play trivia games to test their knowledge of U.S. presidents. Perhaps you could learn to bake a cherry pie to honor the Washington cherry tree legend. Many families like to explore local history to learn about historical areas to help them make connections to the past presidents. President's Day is a reminder to be proud of America's history and values, and a good way to do this is to show your patriotism by displaying or waving your flag. The holiday helps us to appreciate how the presidency has shaped the country over time. It inspires young people to think about leadership and how they can make a difference. You could do this by reading a book about presidents, writing a letter to the president, or dreaming of becoming president yourself one day. However you choose to celebrate this President's Day, we hope you remember the important lessons you have learned about the United States presidents and their courage, kindness, and determination to lead our country. Thank you for learning with us today. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel and share us with your friends. We hope you'll join us again soon for another lesson on Wonder of Learning. Until then, bye-bye.